Hi, what's up? New place, new location there. Welcome behind the anvil. I would say Dustin Forge Works, or is it now? Yeah, what is it?
It's
I'm drawing a
it's
blank.
actually it's Smoky Mountain Forge Works and Trading Post in
Nice,
Sevierville, Tennessee.
very awesome. So Forge Works is in the past, and moving for. I'm guessing we're forging ahead. But
Absolutely.
hey, Dustin, before we get started, we got to get into it. We got to pull the script up. I should have had this done earlier, but it's still wee in the morning on this beautiful Monday morning. So, hey, Behind the Anvil is brought to you by Mike's Damascus Knives. Hey, got to pay the bills. How do I do it? Well, I make knives, knife making experiences, you name it. So, from everyday carry to kitchen to cutlery and everything in between, or occasional sword if you want to venture down that road. You can check everything out at mikesdamascusknives.com, Facebook, Mike's Damascus LLC, Instagram, Mike D Knives, YouTube, and over on the TikTok, I guess. That's about it. I know I should be on more platforms, but who really has got time for that? Our second sponsor is Smoky Mountain Dustin
Forge Works and Trading Post LLC.
LLC, located where now?
We're at 2320 Winfield Dunn Parkway. We're literally in the parking lot at Smoky Mountain Knife Works down here in Sevierville.
Nice. So the big transition is finally over. I know we talked about it last time. You're gearing up. That's been like 3, 4 months ago.
Yeah, came down here and bought property. I think closed on property January 28th, and been chomping at the bit to get down here. Had to transfer properties over to in St. Elmo to Elizabeth. So my daughter Elizabeth and her husband Dalton, they now have the stores in St. Elmo. I know they're doing some renovation
I
there.
seen that they the St. Elmo posted on there that Main Street's gonna have some dustless blasting done. How dustless blasting works, I don't know, but I guess
Yeah,
the store is getting a new coat, new up face, new
yeah,
lipstick.
they're making Main Street photographable. So they want something where people want to come in and take pictures, and just something that's more appealing to the eye. Kind of a facelift.
I mean, they're older buildings, so definitely they need a little touch up every now and then, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, let's just dive into the meat and potatoes, Dustin. I know you shared a little bit last time. There was a lot that you said you couldn't share yet. There's still some more
Oh
you
yeah.
can't share yet. But let's dive into the new works. Tell us what's going to be available at the new location there in Sevierville, Tennessee.
Well, of course, we're a forge memory location, and we will have our forging experiences. In fact, if me, is it okay to move around?
Yeah, we can move around just a little bit real quick.
Okay. So, and this is probably something you do as well, forging experiences with railroad spike knives, and then like your horseshoe knives, pony shoe knives, nail knives, and so forth. Um, of course, we're also offering items that we make very similar to what you do, Mike.
hmm It's similar to the old store in St. Elmo, but what exactly for people like Forge of Memory? What is Forge of Memory? I mean, all of us that are familiar with Robbie Bowman. Shout out to Iron Mountain Metalcraft. They're in Pigeon Forge,
Absolutely.
Tennessee. Hey, Robbie, we need to get you on here.
Yeah. So, like forge of memory. What is it? On any timeline, eventually anything and anyone eventually comes down to just a memory. And the memories that we create, the memories that we forge are very, very important. So if you think about it, even if someone comes in with their kid and they make a knife, then they never do it again. They've got that knife for as long as they got it, but the memory lasts forever. And even as generations go by, the memories build. It can become tradition that when you're in the area, we've had some people who forged at Robbie's shop down there at 172 Old Mill Avenue in Pigeon Forge, and then came up to our location at 409 North Main Street in St. Elmo, which is 8 hours away. I mean, they didn't drive point to point just to do that, but traveling across country or traveling for vacation and having a great time with the families. And that's really what it comes down to, having experiences for all ages. And I know at St. Elmo, I think the youngest that we had forged with assistance, of course, was about 3 years old on a nail knife. And then we had people who were octogenarians. We had 80-plus-year-olds that had forged, of course, with some assistance as well at the location of St. Elmo. So, when it comes down to it, it's about quality. It's about Americana. It's about family. More than anything, it's about family and the family structure. I mean, everything that life should be.
Mm-hmm. So, besides the forging memory, I mean, you got your shop, and you're gonna do. You said earlier, previous for conversation, that all the forging is going to be outside on the deck there, and then you
Yeah,
got you see your basically that's your clientele store there, your storefront. What other
right.
parts of your new location? I mean, I'm guessing you do a little bit of work in there. Is this just
Uh,
mainly going to be for forge your memory stuff only, or are you going to do
well,
demonstrations?
no. And that's a really good point to be brought up is that during the downtime, which there's not a lot of, as heavy traffic as this is, and as heavy as the area is on tourism, but in between bookings, rather, we do have the opportunity to do a little bit of assembly, like on our American Puco series, a classic American series, and so forth, where I'll have blades that are already forged. I don't know how many I brought down here, but basically to turn out items like that right there, just basic, good utilitarian, well-made knives, and then sometimes doing fun stuff like Civil War style. That's actually made from a broken sword blade.
Nice.
Um, but we will be turning out some product when it's not as busy. And as I know, anyone who's in this business, in any business, generally you have seasonal highs and lows. Now, around here, July and October are extremely busy. Um, and that's one reason that we're in here uh, this morning, which we normally wouldn't be open Mondays. But if we have the bookings, we're going to be open. It's been a very expensive.
Transition.
Yeah, it's been a very expensive transition.
Sounds like
We're
it's
in.
worth the investment, though. I mean, you're out of
Oh,
the
absolutely.
communist
I
state of
mean,
Illinois.
well, between that and I mean, could I ask for a better location? It would be hard to find one, I think.
Uh, I would have to agree because that I mean I've been there myself. I've been to the Smoky Mountain Knife Works itself. That is an amazing store. I mean, we spent I think we spent like 3 or 4 hours up, down, back, around. And you think Cabela's
Oh
is
yeah.
nice? I mean, I mean, I don't even know how many knives were in that store. I mean, they got more than just knives. And, you got the gun stock store
Hmm.
downstairs. I mean, there's just all sorts of. A big shout out to Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Hey, maybe we'll have to see if we can get them on here too. Somebody from there. That'd be kind of
That
fun to
would be
do.
cool. But
Um,
yeah, I mean, I think at last count, well, let me put it like this. Once we surpassed $250,000 on the project, I was like, I don't know if I want to keep track of this much more, but
hey,
I know I'm going to end up dropping at least another quarter to 500,000 into it. I mean,
it's only money.
it is, and the cool thing is that with what I do with what we do, um, I can do this. Now I've still got to finish out the home shop, and there's going to be a fair amount of money invested there. But I figure for somewhere between 30 to 50,000. I should have that up and going easy enough. Um, but and some people be going, you're making knives and doing, yeah, we really are. I mean, Mike, how long have you been a full-time maker?
Oh, it's been for
Yeah, I
five.
mean, you don't
It's
have to
it.
answer that. I'm just saying, it's kind of
Yeah,
one of those things where it's like, yeah, this is what we do.
it's been
Um,
about 5 years, but it's slowing down a little bit. I'm going to pick up some side work because I'm getting kind of burned out on the process of just making some mundane stuff because, and it's locational. I mean, it's really interesting to see the economy across the country is kind of up and down depending on where you're
yeah,
at and where
yeah,
people put their money at. Um, I'm in central Utah, right, and pretty much in the center of the state.
right.
It's rural, coal mining, trucking, farming, ranching kind of community. And I think we have a population valley wide here in Sevier County. Oh, I don't want to say, and I don't quote me, 10 to 12,000 maybe overall. I mean, that's
Right.
the whole
Right.
entire, that might be the whole entire half of San Pete and Sevier County too. So, I mean,
You're in Sevier County as well. So am I.
yes, yes, that's what was funny part when we stopped and visit. Um, we were coming dropping in out of Marysville in there, and I looked up and says Sevier County, and I hit the kids. Hey, we're home. We're back in Sevier County. Huh? Oh, funny. Ha ha ha. So yes, we're literally when I Google stuff, I got to make sure I put Sevier County, Utah, because it'll pull
Hmm.
stuff up in Sevier County, Tennessee. So that is kind of funny.
Yeah, that is, because I lived in Fayette County, Illinois, and avoid that if at all possible. But I was when I was filling out my tax information for my business license and so forth, it gives you the options of the different counties to choose from. And I came across Fayette, and I was like, there are a lot of Fayette counties. There are a lot of Sevier counties. Shelby is another comp. So you get that kind of across the board. At least, well, for us, I mean, at least east of the Mississippi. I don't know how it is on the west side, but might be something to look into. That could be. I don't know about an interesting podcast, but that could be at least a very nerdy podcast.
Right? That would be kind of interesting. A little bit of research on that one. But so new business storefront in front of a major knife store, gun
Yep.
store. Um, if I remember correctly, to the west of you, there's I think is a cast iron outlet store. Is that still there?
Now you're talking about that lodge store. Yeah, I was in there yesterday,
Yeah,
actually.
cast iron everywhere. I got a really nice, great big uh cast iron pan on. It was a defect. I think one of those brand new regulars like $150. I got it for like $44. So I was
Yeah.
excited because when you got when you got a shitload of people at camp, that's the thing to have is that beautiful. Nothing like cast iron. So I was just wondering
Right.
if it's still there. But with
What's
all
that?
your things going on there with the Forge of Memory, it sounds like you're going to be pretty busy.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and so does that mean Dustin Knives custom? I mean, you're. I guess you're going to probably have more time set aside for more custom work other than what your standard been putting out. I mean, I know you've been just turning out some good stuff to have on hand, have those sales to fund to where you're at. Now, at your downtime at home, are you going to take that time after getting the new shop up and going to really get in more detailed work? Something you mentioned about ABS and et cetera.
Yeah, and that's really kind of a double duty thing right there. I know that in the past we've discussed about having production pieces, in quantity to offset the expenses of being able to take the time to create custom work or just to have fun, with some of those fun builds. It may not be the highest dollar build, but sometimes you just want to make a giant Bowie knife or something that, I was watching the Sackett's last night and tell Sackett, he's got that big Bowie knife that I always thought was cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I might want to make a repro of that or my own version of it. So yeah, I am looking at some means of magnification. I fairly recently had LASIK, so I do have to have readers now. But yeah, I am looking at moving forward on the with the ABS. I would like to get my Journeyman Smith uh, ranking at some point in the next couple years. Of course, we've got to get everything settled in here. But going back to custom work and the production that just kind of keeps the bills paid, I really feel that the forging experiences here are going to do a couple things. One, it's going to it's going to take part of, or rather, take a portion of the place that the production line would have been providing as far as income. And then it's also great. I mean, as far as practice on grinding for your stock removal, being efficient about it. And I mean, especially, and I'm not trying to knock anybody on this, but when it's their first knife, or maybe they're just they're early in they're early on their path to becoming a bladesmith or a blacksmith, you've got to be able to appropriately and affectionately correct certain aspects of other person's forging. That's a nice way of saying, hey, you're going to have to fix their mess ups.
Yep.
Not necessarily mistakes, just part of the learning curve, really.
Well,
But still make it look good, because you got to have the good memories.
And I had a few people come take a knife make railroad spike class from me a couple times, and they showed up with a bunch of hand material, and like, oh, it's like, so I had to sit down and explain to them what a railroad spike knife class was, and then
Yeah.
they were kind of a little bit disappointed at first until we got in there and got forging and doing all the things we did. It was about 30 minutes per person on the forging part.
Yeah.
And then they kind of like, and once we got done through, and I let them do a little bit of grinding. I know you guys don't do that at your stop. I did a little bit, let them do a little bit of profiling with help in mine,
Right.
because I'm kind of set up for that for my other classes, is
Yeah.
also hands on. So I guess you could say they get a little more experience with me with the grinder part, but a lot of people don't want to do it anyway, and I do it for them. So, um, but he after it was all said and done, he's like, I'm kind of glad we didn't do more than that, because that he was uh he was kind of trying to catch up on and keep up with what we were doing and everything else. He says, man, that's a lot to it.
Yeah. You know, I've had people come in and they would look at the forging experience and be like, "Oh, what you don't put handles on these?" It's like, well, it's an integral. It's forged as one piece. And then I've had people request, well, could we do this in a manner to put handles on it? And it's like, well, we can do that as a separate class, but we can't do it for what you're paying. If you're paying $85 to forge railroad spike knife, um, then I can't justify taking an hour and a half, 2 hours to put a handle on it. I mean, essentially, I'm giving away my time and my funds, also impeding my ability to do other classes. It's like when people
Mhm.
ask me, they're like, "Oh, so you don't make your own sheets?" And it's like, you take a piece of leather, heat it up in a forge, and beat on it on an anvil, and let me know how well it works.
Yeah, he works with steel, not so much with the leather part. That's the same with me. Mom makes all the sheets because I mean I tried doing it, and maybe it's just because of Dutch or something. It's like trying to knit. I mean, if it's a
Well,
pattern already cut out and everything else, and lines are all, hey, run the sewing machine. I can run a sewing machine. That I can do.
Well, you know as well as I do, you make a sheath to fit a knife. You don't make a knife to fit a sheath. You can have a universal pattern that will work for a lot of knives, but it's still not going to fit the same. And
Correct.
I've seen your mother's work. I've had her sheaths, and they're awesome. And the knives, she fits them quite well to the knives.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you can't get that with just with the universal fit.
No.
The other thing is, I mean, Mike, how many knives do you make when you're doing production? And I mean, of course, I'm not asking for an actual number, but in relation, how many knives you make? How long would it take you to make sheaths for each one of those knives?
More time than it takes to make a knife, honestly.
Yeah. Um,
Mainly
you're
because I
set up
don't.
with you're set up with power hammers. You're set up with gas and coal forges. You've got your heat treat oven and all that. You've got 2x72s, 2x42. You've got all of your equipment that you've invested in for making knives,
Mhm.
not for making sheets.
Yeah,
And
that's why I
the
have
same
somebody else do it
situation I'm
because.
in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um, but
And it may change at some point, but not anytime soon.
true. And I know you're getting close on time to open up Monday. So, real quick,
Yep.
we should have done this first off at the beginning. If you're still listening, where can they find you? Where can they book a forge in memory of a railroad spike? And what type of knives again do you make in the experiences?
Okay, so okay, so you can find us. We do some walk-ins here at 2320 uh, Winfield Dunn Parkway in Sevierville, Tennessee. That's at Smoky Mountain Knife Works. You can call us, which I am, for the life of me, I'm going to have to try to find that because I don't have
We can put
the.
it down in the description later, so we
Yeah,
just
I
send
will
that
get that
information to you.
number to you because we have the shop number, which I know ends in like 7474, but Cheyenne's also going to be using her number for text
Maybe we should have had Cheyenne here
for
this morning.
after hours, essentially,
Yeah. I was gonna
for
say maybe we
booking.
should have had Cheyenne here for the technical stuff here. But
And I don't see why we can't. We'll get her on here too for a podcast.
way over
Um,
Dustin's head this morning.
and then we do have Smoky Mountain Forge Works and Trading Post LLC on Facebook.
Facebook.
You can find our contact information there. You
Should
can
be a
message
book.
us, but I'll be totally honest, calling or texting is going to be the best option.
Like I said, I think there is. I don't know if you guys got it set it up on yours yet. I haven't got mine set up, but there is a. You should be able to set up a button that says "Book Now" for
Yes.
that. And so,
Yep.
but hey, why don't you give us a tour of your shop? Take your time. That way, AI doesn't flip out when we do the clips. Take a little time. Show us. I mean, you've already showed us the interior
Yep.
here.
We've got a few cases here. Um, of course, we've got some that's for display only over here. We've got some of my dad's beadwork. We've got some Jerry Rhodes beadwork. Of course, we got the tomahawks on the wall, and with the trading post theme, we do have some bags and pouches. We've got some fur hats. We've got some fun stuff like that. What I don't have is, of course, mandated fire extinguishers and so forth. We've got our safety gear here. Um, and I can't get out to the porch quite yet because I've got my forge and everything set up here that will be going out onto the. So it's kind of not mobile, but it's a modular setup. We've got a grinding station over here. We've got a sheet metal for catching sparks. You know how that is, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You get you a dust
and the
collector too.
coolest thing, you see that over there? That's an air conditioner. It makes it cooler in here. It's the first time I've been in a shop with one of those. It's
Yeah, you're gonna get
almost
spoiled.
wrong. But
Well,
this
I'm going
is
to tell you one thing you're going to want to do, Dustin. You're going to definitely want to pick up your dust collector for that. Where you have an AC now, get you a
yep,
dust collector to put underneath there for your sander there. Because if you don't, you're going to plug that up real quick. And I found
absolutely.
a really cool way to make a filter. We got some of that blue. It's that blue synthetic stuff you put in swamp coolers, and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
cut that down, put it right in front of that inside the thing there. It catches a lot of dust, believe it or
Very
not.
cool.
So
But yeah, we're going to be opening up here just shortly. I've got to go get some buckets of water and start getting everything set up. Cheyenne's en route, and we're going to uh, we're going to make it happen. I got to get my business licenses out here displayed for public use as required. And yeah, looking forward to it. And once we get rolling, we should do another podcast.
yeah, I definitely like that little update. So anything else you want to share on what you got planned? I know you got some stuff up in the works, but we can't talk about that quite yet. But
Um, We plan, Cheyenne and I plan on being more active with teaching with Turtle Island. We recently, there was a father-son camp there recently that I had the privilege of teaching at. We did some forging. We also did some group projects. And there's a lot more to come. I'm going to put it like that, and I don't think we've got enough time to really cover all of it. But I do want to give a shout out to Robbie and Tina Bowman. We couldn't have done this without them, and something just for everybody to keep in mind. It's not always about making money right now, right then, or right now. Connections, networking, and opportunity can be critical in business growth and in life.
Indeed. Definitely a big shout out to Iron Metal Craft there in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. You can check them out. I believe it's ironmetalmetalcraft.com, right? Or ironmountain.com.
IronMountainMetalcraft.com.
There we go. Check them out. Tell Robbie I said hello, or as he would say, woo! Or how he does it. I can't remember.
Absolutely.
So, all right, Dustin, anything else you want to cover real quick? Lead out. Again, drop your socials. New, well, it's all new socials because it's not Axis on Main anymore. It is
No,
now.
it's not. It's Smoky Mountain Knife Works, or I'm sorry, Smoky Mountain Forge Works at Smoky Mountain Knife Works, but Smoky Mountain Forge Works and Trading Post LLC. So
Right on the
I'll get
corner
the
of.
contact info to you, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. Yeah, drop that to me as soon as you can so we get this posted. We're gonna drop this for Friday, do an early episode. So yeah, looking forward to hear some awesome stuff. Come down and I guess your grand opening. Well, we're gonna drop this Friday. Your grand opening is planned for
July 1st for the official opening. We're doing a soft opening today, getting everything going, and of course we've still got more materials we're getting in and everything. But hey, you got to keep your feet busy, keep your hands busy, and hit it hard and keep it rolling.
and definitely want to step in the next couple weeks because there might be some new product showing up from somewhere. We can't just say who it is, but apparently he's kind of famous himself. So
I've heard that.
yeah, I don't know. We'll get so they're gonna have to come down to the shop and find out in a couple weeks. All right, man.
Absolutely.
We'll get out of here. Hey, remember, stay sharp, American. Remember, there's only one King, and that's Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. If you want to know about him more, reach out and we'll talk to you. Have a great day. God bless, and we'll catch you next time on Behind the Anvil. Have a good one.